I'm pretty excited because after almost a full year of checking Craigslist every day, I finally found somebody that was selling Welsh Harlequin ducklings. And the really cool thing is, it was the exact same farm that sold us our first Welsh Harlequins. And out of 10 of those ducklings, 9 of them were just perfect quality. And one had a mallard striping, but we still have him, and you guys know him as Cotton. He is the leader of our pet pen and my son's favorite duck. But these guys I'm super excited about. I can't sex them by bill color right now because they're already a day old, and if you don't know, Welsh Harlequins really need to be bill sexed within the first 24 to 48 hours, a maximum of 3 days. But also, a lot of the Welsh Harlequins, if they're not constantly, if bill sexing's not what it's bred for, then it's not going to be reliable. So with our lines, since auto sexing is semi-important to us, we're really going to have to work at picking the best quality ducklings at birth, the ones that have the coloring that we're wanting, where we can tell if they're male or female, grow them out to make sure it's accurate, and then whenever they become adults, throughout that process, we'll also have to pull out the ducks that don't fit our program, like the ones that don't have as much coloring as we want. They don't have the correct coloring, if they had mallard striping, if they're the wrong size, and if they don't lay the correct amount of eggs. We are just going to move them into our pet pen, and no big deal. So it's just really important that if you want to keep these traits alive in your ducklings, you kind of have to breed for them. But I'm really excited to see where they grow and what they grow up to be. It's pretty exciting. On top of these, you can see that they have, a couple of them have, 3 of them have those black bills right there, and 2 have a pinkish colored bills. When they're first born, males have darker bills and females have a pink bill with a black dot at the end. But as they age, females have black bills and feet if they're good quality, and the male's beak lightens up to a pink color before turning into its final color. For me, my males are green with a black dot on the end, and my females have black beaks and black feet. So, aren't these guys adorable? I'm really excited. I couldn't wait to get on here and show them off. So, I'm pretty excited. Hey everyone, so it is officially week 2 of our Welsh Harlequin ducklings, and these guys are exactly about 2 weeks old today. There's a lot of changes happening really quickly. They're a smaller breed than my Rowan duck, so I noticed that they're actually feathering out a lot faster. So if you notice right here on the tail, this baby has some feathers beginning to come in right on its tail. Its color's beginning to change. That Welsh Harlequin barring pattern is kind of coming out along their backs, so their color's changing on their backs. And there's a couple of them have darker heads, so I'm really hoping that this is not mallard striping, because that was a problem with Cotton, as you know. And so, but that's just something that we really don't want to breed back into our flock. But it's not really something that we can tell at this age. Their color's really still developing. It won't be until they're about 8 weeks of age that we'll really see if they're male or female and how their coloring's coming along. And then from that point, the ducks change a lot slower, but they will still be a different color even a year from now when they have their first real molt. So it's really hard to say what ducklings' colors will be until they officially grow out. They're still not big fans of me. I don't handle them as much as I should. But I will show you what I mean. See kind of that striping pattern showing up around the head and the eyes. So I am really interested to see how these guys will turn out and how they're coming along. You can see their beaks are kind of changing color, so some are lightening and some are darkening up. And their feet are actually starting to change color, so some are also lightening and darkening up. And then some white is developing on the chest, and at this age, a few feathers are beginning to come in on their tummy areas as well. I'm freaking them out by being so close. Right now we're changing out their pins. They're about to go back in. I thought this would be a really good time to kind of hop on and show you what my Welsh Harlequin ducklings look like at 2 weeks of age, because I showed you what they look like at a week old, and I'm going to continue posting how they're changing, because the first 8 weeks of life, while they feather out, their colors change very rapidly. And so I thought it'd be really cool to kind of show you week by week what they look like, and then about a year from now make a compilation that shows their progress from the week we got them and every week and every month until they're fully grown. Here you are, one last time. 2-week-old Welsh Harlequin duckling. A couple of our Welsh Harlequin ducklings hiding in the grass. They're 3 weeks old today, and there are some really cool things happening. The male's bills are turning a greenish color, and the female's bills and feet are turning black. They're also getting some really cool barring patterns coming into the feathers on their back, and the boys are getting the chestnut brown coming in on their chest. You can't see because I'm getting closer to them. They're growing in height, and they're much more active. They like to lay down during the day because they're very tired. Only these yellowy cream ducklings are the khaki Campbells. And so you can kind of see the pattern developing along this one's back right there. We do have a mixed flock, so some of them are not khaki Campbells, but our yellow ducklings are. Look at that beautiful black beak. So far, they've become some of my best foragers. They are eating the weed seeds, digging the bugs out of it. So that's been really fun. They have tried to eat some of my mint plants, but mint essentially grows like weeds, so we're not very worried about it. Look at them. Aren't they gorgeous? It's crazy to think that these guys are 4 weeks old as of day before yesterday, and they are still avoiding me at all costs. All of these birds right here that you see have Welsh Harlequin in them. The 3 strangely colored birds, the 2 darker birds, and the one with the mallard striping in front are half mallard, half Welsh Harlequin. Those are the ones that were given to me when I bought my Welsh Harlequin ducklings, because a mallard accidentally got into the pen. So they're cool to see how they grow and develop based off of their color, but the Welsh Harlequins are the really pretty one. You can see the chestnut color kind of coming into their chest when they stand up. They have some really beautiful feathers on their back. Their heads are pretty much feathered. They still kind of have some baby fuzz everywhere. The males do, and you can see the gray around this front bird's face, and that is because I'm 98% sure that that one will be a male. The beak is kind of greening up really well too, and all the ones with dark beaks are quacking. But the one with the grayish head is not quacking yet, so I'm 98% sure that'll be a male, and that we have 3, maybe 4 if we're lucky, of the Welsh Harlequins turn out to be females, which is perfect because our Welsh Harlequin male is just not the perfect color for me. It would be nice to have another male to kind of see if he feathers out to more of the standard that I'm looking for. This week they're getting more feathers on their wings. Their wings are getting actual feathers. Before they're mostly fuzzy. Their chests are pretty much fully feathered in, but their backs are still getting feathers on the lower part of their backs. Their tails are fully feathered. It's really hard to believe that in just 3 to 4 more weeks, these guys are going to be fully feathered ducklings. And then come spring of next year, they'll be laying eggs themselves. Look how pretty this one is. She is gorgeous. At this point in time, after they're about 48 hours old, until they are starting quacking about a month or fully feathered at 8 weeks, it's really hard to tell if they're male or female. So it's kind of a guessing game. You really have to have a good auto-sexing genes and really good culling. You have to cull really good to pick out the ones that don't have that bill sexing, which means you're gonna have to bill sex young, and then as they grow out, see if you were right or wrong about them being male or female to keep those lines really strong. There's our Campbell Drake. He's more of a dark Campbell. Well, he's kind of between a khaki Campbell and a dark Campbell, isn't he? Not quite as dark as he needs to be, but definitely darker than a khaki Campbell. See if I can't get these guys to stand up. There we go. Can kind of see their chest feathers and tail feathers a little better. How pretty are they? You notice that one that's half mallard even has, right there, even has some of the Welsh Harlequin distinctive feathers on its chest. That's pretty cool. So there you go. 5 pure Welsh Harlequins, and then 1, 2, 3 right there that are not pure. And I'm not sure what this girl is. We're thinking at Rowan. She's just a Tractor Supply special over there. So there it is. There's our 4-week update. So I hope that if you're kind of growing out some Welshies of your own, this helps you out. If you have a couple of crosses, hopefully this helps you out too, because I'm still learning about Welsh Harlequins, also known as the Honey Campbell. When I first started with the breed last year, it was really hard to find resources. So I'm hoping that I can kind of grow them out and compare, and then as my flock grows and progresses, I can kind of compare where I started to where I'm going and see the improvements and the lines and kind of keep track of everything and hopefully help someone out while doing so. Hey everybody, so I kind of wanted to show you these Welsh Harlequin patterns. You see this one has, you may have to rewind it, but this little guy here has, not only on his head does he have kind of that gray head that'll eventually turn to the proper color for drakes, hopefully. If you saw when I first started the video, he has a kind of a scalloped pattern. It alternates black and white, kind of like a zebra, but it's more like a scalloped pattern. That indicates a male. About 5 to 6 weeks, you'll start seeing this pattern on your male ducks. And on your females, you see a different pattern. This little baby, it's kind of like a straight downward almost like pencil stripes, just pointing downwards. So there's a clear difference on the back feathers of these ducks, and that's a pretty good indication whether you have males or females. Now, for the most part, my females started quacking at 4 weeks old. They started quacking about a week ago, and so they make that very distinct quacking sound you're hearing. And my males, they did not. They make, hi. And my males, they make that typical raspy Drake sound. But that was really the only way I could tell, because after about 24 to 48 hours, it's really hard to tell the difference between a male duck and a female duck until they either start quacking or they get that pattern. But so here you can kind of see them. This one has a golden head. That's actually a female. But the ones that have this grayish color right here and the banding, that is a male. That is definitely a Drake. You can also tell because he does not quack, and he has a green beak with a black dot at the end, where these, they all quack, and they're getting black beak. You can see how black her beak is, and their feet are getting black too. And also, she has a different color pattern and has that golden straight pin feather I was talking about at the bottom of her tail. So you can kind of see near the tail these straight patterns versus this guy. He also has a different color on his chest. It's slightly different, and if I can get close enough, you see him turning. He kind of has that scalloped pattern on his backside. And so it almost looks like a seashell shape. So that's really the main difference between males and females. At about 5 weeks of age, you really start to see the difference in patterns. Look at that. So male tail, and over here, female tail side. And you can hear the lady behind him quacking. She's such a beautiful color. That nice warm chestnut color. And the wings are different too. The females, you can see some warmth on the wings, whereas he doesn't have any warmth. But he does have something that Cotton did not have. And if you remember, Cotton is our poorly colored Welsh Drake. This Drake, I can already see the chestnut color is extending over his leg, which is what you want. You kind of want it to extend some. These are really great ducklings. I'm really excited. So if you're kind of looking to figure out if you have a male or female Welsh Harlequin and you miss that window to bill sex them at birth, this hopefully will give you an idea. Now you can definitely see the pattern of the female right here. And here it is compared to the male. That black and white scallop versus this beautiful straight pinch. I would call it like a pinstripe almost. So that gives you kind of some ideas of what you're expecting. It's always hard for me whenever you first have babies trying to figure out if they're male or female. And I have had females that start quacking even a week later, so it's confusing. You look like a male. Are you? Oh, you're quacking and suddenly you're getting female coloring. Okay, that makes sense. And those I usually consider kind of more faulty females. So once I start kind of building up my breeding stock of Welsh Harlequin ducks, I will very quickly, look at her, she just caught a fly. Isn't that great? They're excellent foragers and hunters, guys. That is one of the reasons I added them to my flock. And it's just one of those things where it definitely comes in handy to be able to sex your ducks at an early age. And every single one of my ducklings are a Welsh cross, except for this one here. This is Ducky, and I've said it a million times, she is a Tractor Supply gilt buy. If you don't know what that means I went to Tractor Supply. There were a bunch of ducklings that I had no business buying that were not doing well, and so I bought her out of guilt. I didn't want to see anything bad happen to her, but she is one of the sweetest ducks. So there it is. I kind of hope that helps you tell the sex of your ducks if you have Welshes at this age. And if anyone here is interested in kind of keeping tabs on my 3 crosses, my Welsh and Mallard crosses, let me know and I'll do some update videos showing you the difference in patterns and how they grow. As always, I appreciate you guys watching, and I hope this video kind of helps you guys out when it comes to sexing your ducks and telling the patterns on them and which one's a little better, and what really works for you and your homestead. So just one last time, the duckling on the right, that is a scalloped male's tail, and this one is a female's tail. We've already changed out their water this morning, and they're all getting into it, but I know that I kind of did a coop update and y'all got to see the expansion and just how much we added, but I kind of want to just show you how much these babies are changing now. You go back in my videos and you'll kind of see them grow from like every week for the first month, and then how they are at 2 months, and you kind of just get to watch them grow over time. And now they're just entering laying age, and we've been really blessed with our Welsh Harlequins. They've started laying as early as 5 months, which is really exciting. These hens, the Drake is starting to breed now, and he's the same age as they are. We got them all at the same time. So you kind of just get to see them grow, and you can really, if I zoom in on him, you can really see the difference between his colors now, and how green and vibrant his head is compared to what Cotton's was. Because remember, Cotton has the really poor mallard stripe on the back of his head, and so whenever he would get his plumage in for mating season, it was just really mottled and muddy, and it just wasn't good. And plus, he was extremely large compared to our hens, where this guy is closer to the hen size. He's still larger, but he's closer. He's a better size. He has a better temperament. He has a beautiful head color, and he's just overall a really sweet male. And here are our hens. You can see their feet are finally getting black. I was really worried because their feet were kind of orange for a while, but they're actually darkening up now. I would like in the future to kind of get the genetics where they darken faster, but I mean, these are beautiful girls. Ignore that guy in the back. He is not going to be here much longer. He's one of our coals. He was an accidental breeding. We got him given to us. He's one of the Welsh Harlequin crosses. But look at these. I mean, they are beautiful. And you can see the hens coming in. Now, these girls are what is referred to as a silver Welsh Harlequin. They have the blue in their feathers, and can't really tell because of the way she holds her wings. And they're lighter in color, so they're not that deep golden color, and they don't have the brown on their wings. So I'm still learning myself, but I'm in love with these hens. They're so good for our flocks. They are trying to hatch eggs. They take care of their nest. They'll sit down on eggs for us and everything else. So they're really great. Now, as far as bill color goes, they were already a couple of days old when I got them. So I didn't really have a chance to see how their bills looked and sex them that way. I guess that a couple were females and at least one was a male. So I was right about that. But there were 2 that I just couldn't tell. But really, after 48 hours, it's a no-go on sexing them by bill anymore. Oh, so here you can see they're getting excited because I'm over here and I've refilled their water. So they like to fight over their little pond. The plan is to move out the big pond over here, which is 3,000 gallons, and build up a really pretty, like right here in the middle, put a really beautiful ramp and flowers around it that are duck resistant. You can see this little girl's hunting flies, so that's a really cool thing. They're good hunters. And when we first moved them, you see them just running around, grabbing the insects, grasshoppers, hunting flies. They're amazing. So there's 1, 2, 3. And you see the hens all have a various shading. This poor girl's a little rough because she's the favorite. I don't know what's so special about her, but she gets more attention from our drake. This is another Welsh Harlequin cross. I'm not sure what's going on with it. I've been thinking the whole time it was a Muscovy, also called Muscovy by some. It was another free duck. Basically, we bought Welsh Harlequins, and there were 3 that they knew that hatched from a Welsh Harlequin female, but they had crossed with something, and so they just let us have them, you know. I'm so in love with them. I don't know 100% that our drake has like perfectly correct color or formation. I know that I love him and I really enjoy his coloring, but I'm gonna be honest and say that I'm still learning. I've made mistakes in the past. Like at one point I thought that these girls when they were younger were a gold phase. I was wrong. They ended up showing the blue on their wings, and I was like, well, you know, we all learn. Other people can learn from my mistakes too. These just, I mean, I love them. As far as the backyard flock goes, they're wonderful ducks. It's a little duck mating dance. Hi, guys. She's eating the leaf that just fell from the tree. Look at her. So funny. There it is. You can kind of see the blue now. Isn't she just gorgeous? Now I mean, I'm not standing too far from them. I do have it zoomed in, but they're friendly, but they're not like, come pick me up. If I start walking towards them, she's going to freak out and run off. She's moving faster than I can move with my phone. So there's a little update. You can kind of see just how far they've grown now that they're mating age. And they are laying eggs. I have currently, there's a nest in the coop with 15 eggs. During the summer, it's too hot for me to let them hatch out eggs themselves. But yesterday, the high was 88, which is still really warm for October. But we're in Southeast Texas, so it's going to be warm. And the cool thing is that it's cool enough, especially in the duck coop, they kind of dug out a nest in the dirt that they can hatch out their own eggs. So I'm just going to let them try, and if I have to, I can put mommy and her babies, whichever one decides to hatch them out, in their own space to keep them safe. Real quick before I go, I just kind of wanted to show off their nest. Look at that. Look at all those eggs. Isn't that amazing? These girls lay so much. I mean, it's easy for me just from my two of my birds to get 2 eggs 5 days out of the week. And so with all of my girls laying, I'm just blown away. This is incredible. So you can see how they dug down in the dirt to make this, lined it with little feathers. They take good care. Some of them are dirty, but I mean, yeah. Hatch what we can. So I hope that kind of helps you out and you enjoy kind of getting an update on the ducks. They're really fun creatures to have around. They are messy, but I mean, I really love and enjoy them. And so you kind of see what's going on.